All right, grab yourself a little sheet pan. Got a little paring knife right over here. This thing's about 4¼ pounds. It's pretty small. Generally, it's just me and my wife. So I don't ever like to do them anything really bigger than that, but you feel free to use whatever size you'd like. My biggest thing is normally like all this right here. You're going to coat most of this meat with a rub, and in my experience, eating the skin isn't really all that pleasurable and all that, and sometimes it gets overdone, so I figured I'd try one without it. So we'll see. I might even be able to just get in here, and I don't think so. Maybe we'll just try to start cutting into it. See if we just can't start getting some of this off. Maybe that's why nobody takes it off, maybe because it's such a pain in the butt. But I would really like to get more bark on the pork butt. Every time I've done one of these guys, there's always plenty of fat in the meat. So I never really get anything off of the skin as far as, oh man, you're just gonna lose so much flavor and all that. We're going to try one this way. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I probably need to get this thing on something better to cut it with. And there's plenty of fat underneath this skin. Just don't take all of it off. There we go. Start peeling this bad boy back. I'll tell you what, I'm about just to throw it right on the damn counter. Flopping all over the place here. Just take it nice and slow. We don't want to lose any meat or anything like that. Like I said, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but it's something I've just been thinking of during the last few cooks. I just recently got a pellet smoker. I was in the market for years, and I know I'm kind of late to the game with all that. I was a little bit more traditional with using regular charcoal smokers or wood fire and all that. But I tell you what, a couple of my neighbors got into the pellet smokers a few years ago, and I tell you what, I just had to pull the trigger on one. Ended up getting a Recteq. I was in between that and a Camp Chef, and I think a Gorilla Grill or something. And a used Recteq came up. Guy cooked on it 2 times. Tried to do a brisket, his first brisket ever he tried to do on there, ended up rushing it, turned it into shoe leather, and yeah, just for whatever reason, just thought it was the grill's fault that he should do a brisket in 4 hours. And I was like, all right, well, good for you, your loss, my gain, you know. So I was happy to pick that thing up only with 2 cooks on it, and I tell you what, it has made a believer out of me. I still like doing it the traditional way. If you've got the time to, you know, have the buddies over and have you a couple cold beers and just nice day outside and nice firebox and all that going, perfect. But I can set this bad boy on the smoker when I leave for work, and it'll be done when I get home. So that's definitely some pros and cons to everything. All right, well, there's the skin off of this guy. Yeah, I'm not going to trim anything else off of it. I just wanted to get the skin off of him. There's not a whole bunch there. Like I said, that's tough as shoe leather, so I don't really gain anything from that. But what I do lose by having that on there is not having my spice rub or anything, and I just use a regular salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and a little paprika. And you can just however you like that. Let's just get that off of there. Move that over there. Nothing on it. Just go ahead and start liberally applying that. However much of it sticks on there is fine. But I've really been just wanting more bark here lately in my pulled pork, and I'm like, man, I don't think pouring a bunch of this rub or seasoning onto the finished product is the way to go about it. So I figured I would just try it this way and see what happens. I mean, it's not a super expensive cut of meat or anything like that. Pretty much, like I said, that pellet smoker is it's foolproof. I mean, I tell you what, I'll do a review on that Recteq, but I'm sure they're all Camp Chef and Grilla, and there's so many different ones out there now. I'm sure they all do really pretty much the exact same thing. Some have just some different features than others, but that's for another video. All right, there's our pork butt. I think what, 4.5, 4.25 pounds. Got all the skin off of him. Go ahead and go ahead and wrap this in a little foil. I'm gonna stick it in the fridge overnight. Tomorrow morning we're gonna break him out. You know, let a little bit of the coolness come off of it. I wouldn't say get it to room temperature or anything like that, but always let the meat kind of come a little bit around to room temperature. And then we're gonna put him on a pellet smoker for, you know, probably 4 to 6 hours, I'm guessing. Well, at least until we get to about 200 degrees inside the meat. So, yep, y'all stay tuned. We'll see you in the morning. All right, guys, it's the next morning, just a little after 7 o'clock. Got our pork butt out in the fridge, got the foil off of it, got it resting, and just while the smoker comes up to temp, we got it just hanging out, cooling off a little bit, or warming up a little bit, not cooling off. Nice even coat of spice all over it. We got the skin removed yesterday. I think it's going to turn out great. Like I said, plenty of fat content in the meat. I've never done one without the skin, so I figured I'd just take you guys along for the ride on this, see how it comes. So let's go check the temp of our smoker real quick. Like I said, this picked up a Recteq a few weeks ago. I've got about half a dozen cooks on it so far. There's the old Weber, and got an old Kingsford charcoal grill over there. And this is the new addition, this little Recteq 570, 590, something like that. Yeah, super easy. Make sure hopper's got enough pellets in it. Whatever flavor you want. I use oak, you can use hickory, mesquite, whatever you like. I like to set this thing about 270 for pork butts. Real simple, hit the power button, comes on, then set whatever with this little dial. Okay, there you go. We're at 225 right now. So yeah, I've already got the probe inserted, so as soon as it gets to temp, we'll throw the pork butt on, put the probe in it, and we'll be back to check it in a couple hours. So y'all stay tuned. All right, guys, we're at 270. Got our pork butt out of the house. Put that bad boy on there. Grab our probe. Slide it in. You'll feel it hit that bone. Just come away from that bone just a little bit. And there she goes. We'll be back in about a couple hours. Probably spritz it with a little water, apple cider, whatever you want. I like to normally just try to keep it a little wet, not dry out too much. And we'll be back about 2 hours. Check it out. All right, guys, it's been right at almost 2 hours. We're right at 9:30. Let's go see how we're coming along. Normally about 2 hours in, I like to check on it, give it a little spritz with some water, apple juice, any kind of combination. You don't have to do that by any stretch. It's just something I kind of started doing a while ago, and I've just like the results. So let's take a look at it. Oh yeah, we're starting to get some good color on it. No big deal. Let's just go ahead and that's a little bit of could be a little bit more misty, but I'm trying to hold this camera. So just a little bit of wetness on it. No problem. Shut the lid back down. Our internal temp's right at 130. We're still maintaining this thing. I mean, very rarely a degree or two up or down off this Recteq. So yeah, we're at 130 now. We're trying to get to right at about 200, maybe just a hair over. But yeah, we'll check back on another 2 hours, and we'll see what we're looking like. And normally after about 4 hours, that's about enough smoke for me. Then we'll wrap it, then we'll just put it back on there and just maybe drop the temperature down just a little bit. But we'll be back in 2 hours. All right, guys, it's been another 2 hours right here at 11:30. Go out here and check this thing. Usually at about 4 hours, that's enough smoke for me. So we'll go ahead and see what we're looking like. Old Recteq. Yep, maintaining 270 degrees. Internal temps at 168. We'll open this bad boy up here in a second and give it a spritz, and probably I'll go ahead and that's it. Oh yeah. Got great color on it. Not drying up too much. Go ahead and hit it with a little bit of that water vinegar solution. All right. I'm gonna pull this thing off, get it wrapped, and we'll get it right back on until we get to that 200 mark. All right, guys, we're gonna pull this thing off real quick and get it wrapped. Go ahead and pull that probe out. Just lay it down there, it's fine. Just be careful not to poke any holes in that foil. I use a heavy duty aluminum foil so to help prevent all that. Just get it wrapped, open her back up. I almost forgot. Stick that probe back in there. Back in a couple hours, take another look. All right, guys, another 2-hour update. It's right at 1:30. Let's go see how we're looking. Smoking away. Let's see where we're at. Still at 270. That thing says we're at 210 degrees. All right, we are gonna call that done. So yeah, let me pull this thing off, and we're gonna let it rest, and then I'll update y'all in a little bit. Actually cooked a lot quicker than I thought it would. So, all right, y'all stay tuned. I've had this pork butt cooling off for about an hour. We unwrapped it and let it just kind of chill in the sink and just get basically to room temperature, let all the juices kind of reabsorb back into it and whatnot. So we're just gonna go ahead and shred this bad boy up real quick. Just pull it out right over here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that nice bark everywhere on the bottom. There's where that fat would kind of be. It's still there, but there's definitely more seasoning and whatnot, so I think it came out pretty good. I'm just gonna go ahead and start shredding into it. That bone just comes right on out of there. I always like to wait to 200. I was a little surprised that this one got done as quick as it did. You just never know. That Recteq's got a feature though where you can set all kind of alarms and alerts and, you know, notifications and all kind of stuff. So probably will do that next time, but because you definitely don't want to overdo it. I mean, you can break the meat down to where it is just absolutely just mush if you just keep going and going on it. So you don't want it underdone, and you definitely don't want it overdone. Yeah, there's still some fat in there. Like I said, I really like it on the leaner side as much as I can. You know, you put too much fat into your system, it just really just kind of makes you feel, I mean, barbecue's delicious, but too much fat makes me feel pretty worthless. So normally I try to pull as much of the fat out as I can. The meat itself has got plenty of fat in there. Before I used to not really care about it, but then my wife, she would always just pick it apart, so that's why I really got into doing it, and I noticed it just made me, it just didn't sit so dang heavy with you know, all the fat and skin and everything. So anyway, you know, all these little bits end up just kind of going off to the dog. Little bits of skin like that still got bark on it that I didn't get off. We're definitely going to want to keep that. That's what I was going for. So we're just going to shred this bad boy up. You know, ever since I got the Recteq, I'll be honest with you, I haven't eaten so much barbecue. I mean, it is just like I said, normally I'd have to reserve a whole day to do it. You know, if I was watching a fire or charcoal or anything like that, monitor it. You saw it today. I mean, literally, I started it first thing in the morning, not even first thing, 7:30. And I was on jobs the whole day, come back 2 hours, and I would start recording. So Yeah, I mean, I didn't have to dedicate a whole day to watching this thing. I could go about my normal routine, and I didn't even have to come back every 2 hours. I mean, with the app on the phone from Recteq or some of these other guys that have that, I mean, you can check it while you're out at work and know what's going on. You can turn the thing on, turn it off, make all kind of adjustments on the fly. Yes. All right. It's starting to look pretty good right there. And like I said, that was about 4¼ pounds. That is plenty of meat. And like I said, that smoker just makes it real easy just through the week to eat it. So normally I'll make one of these up and snack on it through the week. Yeah, there's a little bit more bark in there. Not a whole bunch more. That's sitting in that tin foil, definitely, I might try one next time without it sitting in the foil. And that way that underside stays a little bit more, I guess, crisp. Sitting in its own juices in that foil definitely turned it to mush. So, all right, I'm gonna finish shredding this up a little bit, and then we'll put a little bit on a plate with some barbecue sauce and show you guys the finished product. Stay tuned. Finished product, we've got a big pile of pulled pork over here. Just got a little red sauce and a little mustard sauce. They're both vinegar-based sauce, exact same recipe. One just starts off with a mustard base and the other one's got a little bit of ketchup in it. Sauce it up however you want. No sauce is obviously the true test of any good barbecue. I don't think sauce needs to be the standout feature. Should just kind of accent it if you want it. That's fantastic right there. Yeah. Plate you up a little bit. There's a little sauce. Get that bad boy up. There you go. Plate that up. Come around here, see if we can get a better look at it. That's absolutely picture perfect, just right. And it doesn't hardly need anything at all, to be honest with you. That bark is right there. I think it could still add more bark. I think next time I'm not going to put it in the foil. That way it'll stay nice and crispy all over the underside. I think when I put it in that foil, and just kind of ruin the chances of that thing getting any bark on the bottom. Man. Oh, wow. Yeah, you should not be a fan of vinegar sauces. I tell you what, this is my go-to anymore. Come here. Fantastic. All right, guys, hope this helped. We'll probably do an update of this, you know, it's my first go around. Any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll see y'all next time.